Alrighty, as you can see, we got the quad warmed up. We're going to be doing an oil change on this 2009 Sportsman 400 HO. Here's the oil change kit. I highly recommend running the PS4, the OEM Polaris oil in these things. You can run AMS oil, you can run whatever you want, but you can't go wrong with the OEM stuff. So what we're going to do is we first got it fired up, warmed up. Now, the other oil change video I did on a Sportsman 400 was the older style 400, and this service is a little bit different, at least from the service manual I looked up. So the service manual is actually only telling you to change the oil out of the reservoir and change the filter. It does not say anything about changing the crankcase oil or like the filter that it's behind here. It does not say anything about that. So going by the book, we're not going to change, we're not going to mess with any of that. All we're going to do is change the oil in the reservoir. The oil filter is kind of tucked up. It's in here. I'll show you how to get to it right back in here. You don't necessarily have to take this out. You can kind of see it. But it's easier if you take this plastic piece off to get to it. The tools you're going to need: drain pan and some way to get the filter off if it's tight. These things work nice. They can get in there. The claw tool that I usually use probably won't be able to get in there because of the frame here. And then a 14 mil. You can use this, and this will get the drain plug out. So without further ado, guys, let's jump into this. Once you have the drain plug out, make sure you inspect it. The magnet on top, you can kind of clean that off. It did have a little bit on there, not too bad, but you can see there is a couple little pieces on there, but luckily they do put a magnet in here to clean that up. We're going to let it drain out a little bit longer, so we got to get to the filter. All you need to do is pull up on the seat and get it out of the way. And then you can kind of just pick up on the bottom, and it just kind of pops out. It's got a little lip there. You can just kind of pick up, pull it out. Just be careful. And then you can see what we're dealing with here. It actually has a frame filter on it. You can't see it. I think that's what it says, frame. All right, so what you can do is, like I said, it is a little tight in here. So I don't know if I'll be able to get it with one hand. Probably not. I'll probably have to use two to get in there. But let me loosen this filter up and get the new one on there. So that's my little setup, and it's pretty easy. Just loosen her up. Once it's somewhat loose, you'll be able to get it by hand. Hopefully. Good night. It's going. There we go. And it'll drain out, probably go right on your skid plate, and you'll be looking like you're leaking oil for the next few miles until you get it all cleaned up. I don't know why they do that. It's kind of a pain in the butt. Either way, let's get this thing off. Man, it's really close to hitting that frame with this filter on it. Real close. You can see it's pretty dark. This thing I think might have been a little bit overdue. Make sure that the seal comes off with it. You don't want to double seal it. If you want, you can clean that up a little bit. Yeah. So if you wanted a frame filter, I love how this phone does not. Okay, the number is PH6017A. It's upside down, but you get the point. So if you want to run frame, there you go. All right, so there's the new filter. Let's see if we can get the number for you guys. Either way, you can fill it up a little bit. Obviously, you're putting it in sideways, so if you fill it up completely, you're going to just leak most of it back out. So you can put a little bit of oil in it. Make sure you oil the ring. Again, make sure there's no debris on here, or the mating surface, and make sure there's no ring. And I'm going to put this on. I don't know if I can get it with one hand. Can we do it? Can we hit the threads? We sure can. All right, and then you tighten it down, torque spec tight enough by hand. Don't use the tool, don't use anything like this to tighten it down. Just use your hand. If you want, you can use it like a rag to give you a little bit extra grip. This one is kind of a rough spot, but as long as she's tight, you're good to go. Drain plug is nice and clean, so we'll just sneak her back in there. I'm right-handed, trying doing left hand is a little fun. Alright, so we got the drain plug in. Torque spec is 14 foot-pounds via the manual. I was actually looking at the manual too, and it actually says to run 2 W50, which I actually never knew they made this thing, and I don't know if they do. So, I don't know. I think, you know, running this stuff to 5 W50 is what I mean, it's going to work fine. I thought that was kind of odd, actually, when I saw it. There it is. It says 550. I just thought that was odd. But either way, it says takes 2 quarts. I'll post the picture up from the manual itself, and you can check it out. Yeah, so we're going to fill this up, and that's about the end of it. Make sure you fire the quad up, check the oil after it's warm, and you'll be good to go. If you guys got any other questions, don't be afraid to ask. All right. God bless.